Because you put the N on the other end.
Anyway.
Answer to anything, it's fine.
Our industry has its two own specialist benevolent funds. It's got Avro and it's got Risk. They both play an important role for the industry, but both do a totally different thing for the industry. And we've all heard about Ben. Well, I think today we're going to find out what Ben within the motor trade can do for us. So our next presenter, she's Head of Outreach and Marketing and Health and Safety and Wellbeing. She's worked at Ben for over 8 years, having performed various roles within the charity, with over 20 years experience in the third sector. Along with her team, she spends a lot of her time travelling across the country, spreading the word of how Ben is vital for the automotive industry and its workforce. She is truly motivated by that mission and ensuring that everybody in the automotive sector knows what Ben does and how it supports anybody in a bump in the road. So a warm welcome, please, to Ellie Plumer.
Hi everyone. I'm really grateful to have been asked to come and speak to you all today. This gathering represents a dedicated sector of professionals who are vital to our industry. So I'm here today to introduce you to Ben, and we stand firmly by your side and we offer you free support, resources and information. Ben is your automotive charity and we are deeply committed to the well-being of all of you here today and the wider automotive family. Now, my original plan was to talk to you for 15 minutes about all of the wonderful reasons why you should support Ben and highlight us to all of your employees in your business. But I woke up this morning definitely losing my voice, so to keep it for the whole show, I'm going to show you a video. But first I want to tell you some things about Ben and some stats. So since 1905, Ben have been tirelessly working to improve the lives of automotive professionals. Offering a range of services, we can make the difference. Ben is there to lend a helping hand when life takes an unexpected turn. To put these challenges into context, I want to share some statistics from our recovery and breakdown sector, taken from our industry survey that we completed earlier this year. So 63% of your sector said they were struggling with poor sleep. 57% of your sector said they did not take time to rest. Got the drummers drumming. 53% said you had a poor work-life balance, and 47% said they had a lack of physical activity. Over 25% of the respondents said they are struggling with debt and the rising cost of living, and more than 50% of the respondents said they were experiencing low mood and anxious thoughts. Now, as we consider these challenges, it's essential to remember that you're not alone, nor your staff, nor your teams. Ben are here and we're ready and waiting to provide the support and resources that you need to navigate these difficulties. But there's a crucial part to this. You have to reach out and you have to look after each other. If people don't know about us, they can't call us. So here's my ask of you today. Please make sure everyone in your workplace knows about Ben and the services we offer. Sign up for our emails. Get one of my team to come and see you at work and speak to your staff. Don't worry, we won't ask questions. We're not counsellors. Make Ben a part of your team. Remind your team that Ben is there for them. Look out for each other. Give someone who is struggling the space to make the call. And take part. We can't do what we do without you. I'll be here for the whole show, so if you want to come and find me and speak about how we can work together, I'm more than happy to do that. Together we can ensure that nobody in our industry suffers in silence. Let's make sure that everyone in the recovery sector knows about Ben and the invaluable help we provide. I'd like to invite you all to watch a video. This video does contain a story of suicide, so please keep yourselves emotionally safe if you need to. This video encapsulates the essence of what Ben Automotive stands for and the incredible impact our services have on the life of people just like you.
In 2011, we had a house fire and they stripped all the house of everything that was damaged. People actually went through those skips and got obviously details that we didn't even know were there. They managed to open up another bank account in our name online and transfer the money from our original account into another account and then siphon it off. We couldn't prove that we hadn't done it ourselves. So we never got any of it back. But the toll of the fire and the work and the pressure of not having the stability of his funds, his retirement, it was all too much. It was just all too much for him. We got up at 6:30 on the Wednesday morning. He had breakfast as normal. We had a usual routine. And he left for work just before 7, and that was the last time I saw him. I can remember going in the house, calling his name, thinking he's going to be here. But his car wasn't there, and he died on the 11th of March, and it wasn't till the 4th of July that I found the truth out of how he actually died. That he'd actually set himself on fire in his car. It was a lot of mental torture at first, and not knowing why and not knowing how. And I've seen a therapist at the moment, and one of my biggest things is I cannot remember if we said I love you. Now, it's something we always said, but can I remember saying it that morning? I can't. And that, it really hurts. I know I must have said it because it's something we always said. It sounds silly. It's a silly thing to be hooked up on, but because I can't remember saying it, I don't know if he knows. I had a friend come up in the November, 2 years ago now, and he says, "Well, what about Ben?" And the rest is history. I got in touch with Ben virtually the next day, thinking, oh well, nothing's going to come of it. But within a couple of days, they replied to my email, and I was put in touch with a lady called Stephanie Brown. Without their help and support, I don't think I probably would have been here now, because I was in such a bad way. A thank you doesn't seem a big enough word. I owe them a great deal. They've helped me mentally, physically, and they've helped me spiritually. They've helped me get back to where I was before David died. I'm just taking one day at a time now, and each day gets a little bit easier. I'll never forget David, and I'll never forget what Ben's done for me. It was one of the best decisions I ever made.
About 3.5 years ago, I probably reached a particularly low ebb. But I've been sort of trying to scramble to hang on to a relationship with my ex-wife. I was never going to be able to turn things round. I think I'd clinged on to that as a personal goal and hope and motivator in my life, and once I realised that wasn't going to happen, I just started to fall apart. Eventually I moved into a guest house, which I suppose is very impersonal. I felt quite, it's not your home, you're basically renting a room. It's not a life plan. I think I've been in the place for 2 weeks and I started to really go downhill. I felt probably about as isolated as I've probably ever been in my life. I lost my father as well a decade ago. Elements of that were quite delayed, so I sort of lost my marriage, and that person was there with me when my father passed away, distracted me from grief. And probably because of that, I then felt like I was hit with a tidal wave of grief. Cutting to the chase, I felt very, I would suspect, suicidal, and I'd even gone through the sort of thoughts in my head about where I might go to do something like that and how I would do it. Thankfully I never got to when I would do that. but I just wanted to, I felt like I didn't have a future. I got in touch with a better organisation. I always felt that talking about things, although it comes naturally to me, ultimately doesn't really change stuff. It doesn't burden you. But at the same time, I felt, well, everything else I've done, I've not got anywhere. It's good to be able to talk about stuff, and I appreciate for some people that's harder than others. I found it amazingly helpful actually writing some of this stuff down. 4 weeks in, I actually really started to feel different. Also, I very much started to feel more myself again. I felt like it took me back to before all of these things came into my life that didn't work. I felt a little bit more like I had a little bit of a spring in my step because of the experience of the life coaching, you know, and they just allowed me to have a bit more self-respect, a bit more of an understanding of myself without sort of feeling so down about me and my life. You know, holding your hand up and saying, look, Anita, there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's been calming, it's been life-affirming. I felt very differently at the end of it than I did at the start of it. And I genuinely didn't think I would do. You know, I was humbled. And I just think, you know, when you're feeling calmer and happier and a bit more content, your life just feels better. It's free as well, you know, it's a thing. It's all it takes is your time and your effort to get in touch with them. You get professional help for making a phone call. It's important that you don't give up, you do ask for help, and you open your mind to things, because it might just change your life, it might just change the direction you go with it.
I'll be here in Hall 2 if you want to get involved in any of that. And Mark just mentioned who was joining his team. So Josh was actually on Beast of Ben, so he'll be here, so he can tell you all about Beast, and we'll be running it next year. So please take part if you want to get involved. But thank you all for your time.